And turning now to the country of Pakistan that has been ravaged by incessant rains and floods since June.
तो धरती जो आलमी दिहाड़ो जेको आहे वो छो मल्हायो वञे पियो ऐं इन हवाले सां जेकी हिन प्रोग्राम जी ख़ुसूसी ॻाल्हि आहे त कराची में क़ाइमु अमेरिकी जेको काउंसिल खानो आहे उन्हनि हिकिड़ो सॉन्ग हिकु वीडियो म्यूज़िक जेको आहे रिलीज़ कयो आहे जंहिंमें हू मौसमियाती तब्दीली जे हवाले सां ॿुधाइनि पिया त उन्हनि खे कहिड़े तरह सां सीरियस वठणु घुरिजे ऐं उहो केतिरो ज़रूरी आहे असां सभिनी जे लाइ छो त हीअ तव्हां ॾिसो जेका बोर्ड बि आई उन हवाले सां बि असांखे केतिरनि ॾुखियाईनि खे साम्हूं मुंहुं ॾियणो पियो त उन हवाले सां ॾाढो इंट्रस्टिंग गानो हिननि जेको आहे रिलीज़ कयो आहे जंहिंमें उन्हनि इन्हनि सभिनीनि शयुनि खे उजागर कयो आहे त मौसमियाती तब्दीली खे सीरियस वठो सो पंहिंजे महिमाननि जो तव्हां सां तारुफ़ कराईंदी हलां थी मूंखे स्टूडियोज़ में जॉइन कयो आहे मिस्टर ली मैकमैनस जेके पब्लिक अफेयर्स ऑफिसर्स आहिनि फॉर US Consulate in Karachi. Mr. Lee, hello, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Miss Leila.
Thank you. It's an honor to have you on show. ऐं गॾो गॾु नाज़रीन तव्हांखे वेठल नज़र ईंदा के तारुफ़ जा मोहताज न आहिनि अली गुल पीर साहब जेके कंटेंट क्रिएटर बि चई था सघूं पाकिस्तानी रैपर आहिनि ऐं टेलीविज़न ऐं वॉइस एक्टर बि आहिनि. अस्सलाम वालेकुम अली साहब तव्हांजी महिरबानी त तव्हां आया ऐं असां सभिनी खे ख़बर आहे त अली गुल खे सिंधी बि ॾाढी सुठी ईंदी आहे सो वील ट्राई त असीं हुननि सां सिंधी में ॻाल्हाइण जी कोशिशि कयूं ऐं अली गुल तव्हांजी इजाज़त खां I'd like to start with Mr. Lee McManus, जेके Public Affairs Officer आहिनि नाज़रीन ऑलरेडी तव्हांखे ॿुधाए छॾियो उन्हनि सां असीं ॻाल्हि ॿोल कंदासीं about the song. I was watching the video and it was amazing.
Yes.
Wow. So could you please tell us about the song, that why did the US government sponsor this music video? What was the need of it?
That's a great question, Miss Leila. And I agree with you. It's a terrific, fantastic song and video. One part of the production sitting next to me, Mr. Ali Gul Pir. So the United States government recognizes that no one country can tackle the climate change crisis by itself.
Okay.
The United States can't do it by itself, Canada, Mongolia, what have you. So it requires a coalition of partners, friends, alliances, what have you. It's a global issue.
All right.
And what happened in Pakistan is just an infinitesimal example of what the impact of climate change can have on a country, in this case, Pakistan. So Ambassador Blom, since his arrival last year in Pakistan as our US ambassador to Pakistan, has placed heavy emphasis on working, in this case, with the host country, the government of Pakistan, and organizations to try to tackle climate change. And we've been cooperating with Pakistan even since the 1960s when Pakistan experienced its Green Revolution.
Right.
At that time, we worked on joint projects to increase crop yields, to create better economic opportunities for everyday Pakistanis, and of course, increase life expectancy
and there are certain programs
food
like
security.
Green Alliance program that you've been working on. If
That
you'd
is
like to
that
shed
is
some
right.
light.
So that brings us, I would say, to the modern day, where the ambassador is putting heavy emphasis on what is termed as the Green Alliance framework, whereby we are working together on projects on clean energy, agriculture, and food security, and water. And so the United States continues to support Pakistan in its efforts as it increases its own climate resilience, as it works to foster inclusive economic growth, and as it pursues its own energy transformation to clean energy.
We really appreciate the idea, the way you're trying to divert the attention of people towards their earth to show some seriousness and love. That's right. Amazing. That's really appreciable. Ali Gulam, तव्हांजी तरफ अचण चाहियां थी तव्हां खां सवाल कंदासीं तव्हांजी कोलैबोरेशन कीअं रही कीअं एक्सपीरियंस रहियो तव्हांजो तव्हां जॾहिं ही सॉन्ग में परफॉर्म कयो पिया तव्हांजो रैप बि ॿुधो तमामु इंट्रस्टिंग हुयो अमेज़िंग हुयो उनजे बारे में कुझु ॿुधायो असांखे
बस एरन इंग्लिश जो आर्टिस्ट आहे अमेरिकन हो मुंहिंजो दोस्त आहे असां घणे अरसे खां सोचूं पिया त असां कोई प्रोजेक्ट गॾु कयूं ऐं कुझु सुठो कॉज जे लाइ कयूं जॾहिं पोइ मां मुंहिंजी शादी थियण वारी
जी मुबारक हुजे तव्हांखे
तो एरन अचे पोइ त असां सोचियो त एरन कुझु प्रोजेक्ट कयूं त असां पोइ वी गॉट इन टच विद US Consulate कराची ऐं पोइ असां सोचो त इन्हनि जो आइडियो त क्लाइमेट चेंज ते असां वे बि वीडियो ठाहे चुका आहियूं 2-3 पहिरीं बि
मिस्टर एरन इंग्लिश जेके आहिनि उन्हनि ही गानो लिखियो
बिल्कुलु हुन पोइ गानो लिखियो पोइ
इनफैक्ट उहे बि असांखे थोरी देरि में जॉइन कंदा नाज़रीन
यस त पोइ हुननि बि पंहिंजो पार्ट रिकॉर्ड कयो मां बि रिकॉर्ड कयो ऐं पोइ असां अमेरिकन काउंसिल खां गॾु मिली ऐं असां पोइ हिननि कमीशन कयो गानो असां इहा वीडियो मां प्रोड्यूस कई आहे ऐं ऑडियो एरन इंग्लिश कयो आहे हे वीडियो 3 प्रोविंसेस में शूट थी आहे असां मालम जब्बा बि वियासीं ज़ियारत साहिब बि वियासीं पोइ सिंध में बि वियासीं ऐं असां कोशिशि कयो त ॾेखारूं माण्हुनि खे त हे धरती जो मसइलो आहे इंसानियत जो मसइलो आहे कोई अमेरिका पाकिस्तान ॿिए के मुल्क जो मसइलो कोन्हे सभिनि जो मसइलो आहे
अली हिन कोलैबोरेशन जो इम्पैक्ट तव्हां छा ॾिसो पिया छा असरु पवंदो
असां अगरि तव्हांखे एतिरो बि कन्विंस करे सघो न त तव्हां जी समंदर में 3rd लार्जेस्ट वेस्ट जो आहे न पानी जी बोतलूं आहिनि सिंगल यूज़ प्लास्टिक जंहिंखे चइबो आहे यूज़ थी फिटी करे थो कचिरो न कयो जो फैक्ट्रियूं आहिनि हो बिज़नेसिस आहिनि हो पंहिंजो बिज़नेस प्रैक्टिस बहितर करे सघनि थियूं ताकी पोल्यूशन न थिए हर केरु पंहिंजे हैसियत में थोरो थोरो कंट्रीब्यूट करे कचिरो रिसाइकल करे छो नंढी नंढी शयूं आहिनि जो इंसान पाण करे सघे थो ताकी असां हिन प्लैनेट खे ताकी बहितर ॾिसी सघूं फ्यूचर
ओके ठीकु आहे ऐं वरी तव्हांजी तरफ़ वापसि ईंदसि नाज़रीन जी थोरी देरि अॻु में तव्हांखे ॿुधायो त मिस्टर एरन इंग्लिश जिन ही गानो लिखियो आहे ऐं अली गुल हिन खे प्रोड्यूस कयो आहे उन्हनि खे बि असीं थोरी देरि में जेको आहे पाण सां गॾु वीडियो लिंक ते वठंदासीं बट कमिंग बैक टू मिस्टर ली देयर आर अदर क्वेश्चन्स टू इन टर्म्स ऑफ लास्ट ईयर्स फ्लडिंग यू नो वी फेस्ड torrential rains it was very devastating for us devastating floods we've been through a rough and tough time you can say that so what about the contributions of US in terms of flooding you know when we were facing or when we were going through this phase what have been the contributions of US government
Ms. Layla, that's another very pertinent question one that we take very seriously in my government so first let me repeat what's been said often by US government officials our heartfelt condolences go to the people of Pakistan that were victims of the flooding those families who lost loved ones people who lost their lives and their livelihoods and we're very acutely aware that it's an ongoing issue that the impact of which will be felt into the future in the coming years even. So that is why from the get-go immediately the United States began injecting flood assistance. Now we're up to approximately over $200 million the US government has donated for the benefit of the Pakistani people, be it in flood relief, disaster resilience, and food security.
Okay.
So
you were active during the flood as well in relief activities too?
Yes, immediately. We even had high government or high-level US government officials come out here really rather quickly, including the USAID administrator, Samantha Power. So, and we also, at that time, last autumn, were able to get in by working with the United Nations and our NGO partners, the US military established an air bridge directly into Pakistan, getting approximately 630 metric tons of highly needed disaster relief goods and services into the country, directly into the hands of the people who received it, as well as our ambassador making a special visit to Shikarpur, where he participated in the direct...
Okay, ambassador went to Shikarpur as well during the time of flood.
And he directly helped distribute many of these items to the people who live there. And even most recently, in the month of March, our Deputy Chief of Mission, Andrew Schofer, got out to Mirpur Khas. And similarly, worked with the people that we partner with to distribute these goods, as well as focusing on the need for health care and getting high nutrient items to families that are experiencing malnourishment, which is becoming an increased
another
problem.
issue actually.
ठीक
है नाज़रीन मिस्टर ली असांखे ॿुधाइनि पिया त ही कीअं फ्लड जे दौरान जेको आहे एक्टिव रहिया ऐं कीअं हिननि जेको आहे रिलीफ मुहैया करण में मदद कई जेके बहुत मुतासिर हुया उन वक़्तु अली तव्हांजी तरफ़ां अगेन अचणु चाहींदसि त ही इम्पैक्ट ते असीं ॻाल्हि कयूं पिया तव्हां प्लास्टिक जी बि ॻाल्हि कई त कीअं जेको आहे हिकिड़ो वॾो तादाद सी में मौजूदु आहे सीरियस वठणु केतिरो ज़रूरी आहे हिनखे थोरो आख़िर में क्विकली तव्हां हिन ते ॻाल्हि करे वठो त
ॾिसो तव्हांजे साम्हूं जो लास्ट ईयर सिंध में जो थियो आहे ऐं हींअर बि मॉनसून सीज़न अचण वारो आहे सिर्फ़ु इन करे इन में असां सिंधी कुझु लाइनूं बि रखियूं गानियूं में ऐं 3 लैंग्वेजिस आहिनि ऐं असां कोशिशि कंदासीं त हे मैसेज सिर्फ़ु जेतिरो असां प्रोजेक्ट करे सघूं छो जो असां आर्टिस्ट आहियूं असां आर्टिस्टनि जो कमु इहो हूंदो आहे त पंहिंजे फ़न जे थ्रू असां लोगों खे एजुकेट करूं ऐं उन्हनि खे शबूर ॾियूं त असांजो बसि इहा त जो बि ॾिसे पोइ हिन वीडियो खे सिर्फ़ु इंजॉय करे गानो ॿुधे न हिन जो मैसेज बि हिकिड़ो आहे त पंहिंजे साउंड दी अलार्म विच मीन्स अलार्म वॼी वियो आहे
खतरे जी घंटी वॼी चुकी आहे
अर्थक्वेक हींअर सेंट्रल पंजाब में ओला पिया आहिनि ऑफ सीज़न कॾहिं अहिड़ी जॻहियुनि में जॾहिं बारिशूं कोन थींदियूं या हुते बारिशूं स्नो थिए थी त असांखे दुनिया कुझु ॿुधाइणु चाहे थी असांखे ॿुधणो पवंदो असांखे सभु इंसानियत खे मिले असांखे हल
ॻोल्हणो पवंदो मिली करे तमामु सुठो मैसेज बि तव्हां ॾेई विया Mr. Lee, we'll continue the discussion, but we have another amazing guest with us here via video link, so we'd like to talk to him too. Nazreen, असां सां हिकु ॿियो महिमान बि गॾु आहे मिस्टर एरन इंग्लिश जंहिं ही ज़बरदस्त क़िस्म जो गानो जेको आहे लिखियो आहे साउंड दी अलार्म त खतरे जी घंटी वॼी चुकी आहे सो उन्हनि सां असीं ॻाल्हि ॿोल कंदासीं मिस्टर एरन इंग्लिश असां सां वीडियो लिंक ते मौजूदु आहिनि थैंक यू मिस्टर एरन फॉर योर टाइम थैंक्स फॉर टेकिंग द टाइम आउट आई हैव फ्यू क्वेश्चंस फॉर यू Tell us, how was your stay in Pakistan and what was your thought process when you were writing this song?
The U.S. Consulate in Karachi had asked Ali Gul Pir and I to write and record a song that talked about the flooding in Pakistan in 2022 and climate change in general. I wanted to write a song that spoke to everyone and that didn't cast blame or express anger, but rather called upon all of us to rally together to face a problem that all of us are going to be challenged by and all of us need to solve. Climate change is a global problem, and I wasn't interested in pointing fingers or in addressing the struggle over how to face it, but rather to focus on we need to face it, all of us. And the flooding in Pakistan was an urgent example of how we need to act now. So the idea of sounding the alarm.
Okay, that's great to know. I have one more question to ask you, Mr. Aaron. That what do you think about the impact of climate change? What do you have to say about it?
I think the main impacts of climate change really won't be known until years from now. The most important thing for me as an American is convincing Americans that it is a problem that all of us will be affected by, and that we don't know exactly how we will be affected by it, and that it doesn't matter what the roots of the problem are, as much as it matters that we do something about it. There are a lot of Americans who don't know what to think about climate change, or don't think it's a problem, or don't see an urgency. And the most important thing out of the equation and replaces it with there is something going on. It is affecting everyone worldwide, and we need to act immediately together, all of us. That it is a universal challenge that will require all of us to come together to face and to solve.
Thank you so much, Aaron, for your time. I wish you were here with us in studios. Badi meherbani tavanji. Nazeen, Mr. Aaron asa sa gadu hoya ऐं गुफ्तगू भी जारी रहंदी असा सा ॿिया मेहमान स्टूडियोज़ में मौजूद हैं. Mr. Lee, is there any message you'd like to give at the end?
I'll just say that the United States knows that we're all in this together. We stand side by side with the people of Pakistan. We have for decades, and we continue to be here, just as we were back in 2010 when the last devastating floods hit. We need to tackle the problem collectively, internationally, and we want to sound the alarm and work with people who are both policymakers but everyday people as well, that collective efforts need to be done.
Okay.
And I would just say, let's take care of our earth. And as I understand, I learned a little Sindhi here.
Oh, yes, that would be fantastic for our viewers. I should help you with that.
Okay, well, let me make a try at it. Darti sa pyar kayo.
धरती सा प्यार कयो यानी नाज़रीन
Yeah,
पंहिंजी
thank
धरती
you.
सा love your earth because wonderful very nice
Yeah.
I appreciate it so ॿिन्ही जी वॾी महिरबानी thanks to both of you जीअं तव्हांखे ॿुधायो त हिननि US Consulate जेको गानो कढियो आहे साउंड द अलार्म जे नाले सां त ख़तरे जी घंटी वॼी चुकी आहे ऐं असांखे गॾियल ऐं जामिया क़दम जेको आहे खणणा पवंदा ही मसइलो हिकु मुल्क जो न आहे पर जेके गॾियल मुल्क आहिनि सॼी दुनिया खे जेको आहे हिकु करो बीहणो पवंदो ऐं पोइ असां जेको आहे हिन जी सॉल्यूशन जी तरफ़ वञी सघंदासीं इजाज़त ॾींदा अल्लाह हाफ़िज़